What's going on, you guys? Oscar DelaHoya comes out and says that Spence is the easier fight for Vergil than Crawford. Now, after rumors that Vergil was alleged to receive the offer from Crawford, Team Vergil since came and said that that wasn't true, right? But was Oscar DelaHoya really going to put Vergil Ortiz in there with Terence but Crawford? Many people really just don't think so, right? You know, these guys, they say one thing, but I think when push came to shove, or when push would come to shove, it'll be a long, drawn-out process. I'm not quite sure if they're ready to put him in there with a guy like Terence Crawford, but whatever the case, he says that Spence is the easier fight. And he says this: fighters out there, they don't want to fight Golden Boy fighters. Now, right, real quick before I continue, he says that fighters don't want to fight Golden Boy fighters, but what is Jaime Munguia doing right now? Who is Jaime Munguia about to fight? This Garcia Gastian Carcillo guy, and like, who's 20 and like 5? Like, what do you mean nobody wants to fight Golden Boy fighters, bro? Boo Boo Andre was supposed to fight Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia didn't want to take the mandatory shot. So what do you mean nobody wants to fight Golden Boy fighters, Oscar? Then he says, so what do? We positioned them to be a number one contender like Beaver versus Cerudo. We pushed it, and now it's happening next week. So he's saying that they pushed the fight between Cerudo Ramirez and Dimitri Bivol. That fight should be pretty interesting. It's coming up next week. You know, I'm not quite sure who's going to win that fight, man. You know, when the last time we really seen Cerudo in action? I mean, we haven't really seen much of Cerudo. We've been seeing quite a bit of Bivol, you know, and Bivol did his thing against Canelo Alvarez. But now he's going against a bigger guy in stature in Cerudo Ramirez. I'm not quite sure who's going to win that fight. Should be good, though, right? And then he says, absolutely, Vergil Ortiz is in that position. I would love both for Vergil, said Oscar DelaHoya when asked who he'd be most likely an option for Vergil Ortiz between Errol, Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. So, yeah, he'll like both fights, right? He'll like both fights for Vergil, but he says this: I believe Spence is the easier fight for Vergil. Crawford, I'm telling you, is very crafty. He knows how to move, and he's slick. But all those fights can be made. Could they be made? Yeah, they could be made, right? But I think the Spence-Crawford fight, we got to finish that first. I think the Spence-Crawford fight, we got to wait till the smoke clear. And then once the smoke cleared, then Vergil and all those guys are likely to get a shot at one of those two guys, right? That's just the scenario that I'm foreseeing. I'm not seeing Crawford or Spence fighting any of these dudes right now until they fight each other first. That's just the way I see it. Then he says, quick in a heartbeat, when asked if he'd have made a fight between Vergil Ortiz and Crawford if given the opportunity. Then he says, I'm telling you, Vergil is the best 147-pounder out there. Is he? I mean, Vergil's really good, but is he the best? It's hard to tell, right? He's one of the best young fighters for sure, right? But as far as is the best out there, we got to see him against Boots first, right? Because Boots Ennis is looking like he could possibly be the best outside of the champions or outside of the veterans. When we talking about these young guys, Jerron Boots Ennis is checking all the boxes, right? Even though one may say Vergil had the tougher road thus far, right, as far as opposition. Then he says, we're working on something for Vergil very soon. We'll have an announcement. We're excited about that. Next year is going to be a very big year. His coming out party. Nobody will be able to run away from him. Then he says, in regards to Boots Ennis, yeah, this is pretty interesting. These guys, right? Check it out. He says, I haven't seen him fight. Yeah, right there. Boom. Quote, I haven't seen him fight. So you mean to tell me, Oscar DelaHoya, you haven't watched your stable fighter, one of your star young fighters, future opposition fight? You never seen him fight, bro? I wish I had the stop the cap button right now. I'm not at my home right now. I wish I had the stop the cap button, because we know for sure Oscar will see Jerron Boots in this fight. But these guys, they act like they never seen him fight. Like, you don't got time to watch a Boots Ennis fight. They don't go past 6 rounds, bro. And you would think that he'll be scouting out the future rivals of his young fighter in Vergil Ortiz. I'm not buying that in the slightest. He says, I haven't seen him fight, but I hear he's great. Obviously, him winning a world title, eventually they're gonna fight, you know? So that's what Oscar had to say. And then that's what Oscar had to say in regards to Boots Ennis and Vergil, right? He kept it really short and sweet. He didn't really want to talk about it too much because he's seen John Boots Ennis fight. Okay? We know that's bullshit. Then he says, it's actually a good fight. It's going to be a good test, said DelaHoya about Crawford fighting David Alvarez in December 10th. I like the fight. Actually, but if you run a risk of a headbutt or a cut or a broken hand, and this is what I was saying, one of the drawbacks for this fight with Alvarez, Crawford is on paper, he should win the fight, right? Easily. He should be able to really stop this guy. He should be able to really handle Alvarez. Even though Alvarez may pose some issues, he has power, etc. Crawford should handle the guy, right? But if he runs risk of a headbutt, a cut, or a broken hand, which can potentially wipe the Spence fight off the table, and Steven Espinoza said that Crawford fight still is on the table. Then he says next year is going to be a major year for all Golden Boy fighters, and Golden Boy is going to be a huge year, said DelaHoya, end quote. So that's what DelaHoya had to say in regards to Vergil Ortiz matching up with Crawford, Spence, and John Boots Ennis. And if I'm honest, I know he watched Boots Ennis fight. There's no way he didn't see Boots Ennis fight. You have to watch. You have to scout these guys. You come on, bro. Like, why these guys acting like they never seen Boots fight? You know, Keith Thurman said, "Oh, I never heard of him." You know, all this other stuff trying to, come on, man. You know when the boogeyman coming, you go peek out the window and see who it is, bro. Like, come on, man. Right? When you, come on. We already know these dudes capping and shit. They acting like they never seen him fight, but then get out of here, Oscar. But he said that Spence will be the easier fight for Vergil. And when you look at it, stylistically, one may agree. Crawford, you just really don't know what Bud Crawford is going to do, okay? You know one thing for sure, he may start off slow. But after that, you really just don't know what type of fight Crawford's going to bring to the fight. But with Spence, you kind of know what he's going to do. If you close your eyes, you can envision an Errol Spence fight. That's not a knock on Errol Spence. It's really hard. Even though he's very straightforward with his approach, is a very tough approach for the guys to deal with. And a lot of guys can't deal with this basic traditional approach that Errol Spence comes with. They just can't deal with it. So, yeah, him being a easier matchup, yeah, visually, stylistically, when you look at it on paper, quite possibly. But that doesn't mean Vergil Ortiz is going to go up in there and whoop on Errol the Truth Big Fish Spence Jr. He said Crawford is the crafty guy. You know, that, come on. If Crawford had to put the negotiation paper, the contract on the table for these dudes, come on, bro. You think they would have signed it as quick as David Alvarez would have? You know, nah, they wouldn't have. Crawford and them was on a quick, let's do it. You know, these guys probably would have went through another little negotiation process that would have extended to 30 days. Crawford ain't trying to wait that long. He needed to fight December 10th. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Oscar DelaHoya says Errol Spence is the easier fight for Vergil than Crawford, and he ain't never seen John Boots in his fight. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.